There are certain things that are guaranteed. One of those things is Republican hypocrisy. Over the course of the last several decades, it has become crystal clear in the minds of anybody who's paid attention that Republicans love to talk a big game when Democrats are in control about budgets. They whine and cry from the rooftops, how are we going to pay for that? And it's not an altogether unreasonable question if asked in good faith. But during the presidency of Donald Trump, an extra $7 trillion was added to the national debt while we were in the midst of economic boom times. $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion deficits every year, even when things were great. When we should be squirreling away money for a rainy day, preparing for a time when there would be an economic downturn, we were letting the rich off the fox into the hen house. The rich, all kinds of tax cuts, adding to the national debt. Well, now that Democrats are in charge, there are several proposals that they're trying to make, that they're forwarding, in hopes that Christian Sinema and Joe Manchin won't get in the way. This New York Times article, Senate Democrats begin $3.5 trillion push for big, bold social change. A Senate budget blueprint, which Democrats hope to pass this week, would ease passage of legislation that would mark the biggest expansion of the social safety net in nearly 60 years. And this is good news, especially in the state that we find ourselves in. COVID. People on the brink of financial collapse. Millions and millions of Americans almost ready to be evicted from their domiciles because they cannot pay their rent. People are in crisis. Study after study after study over the course of the last few years have indicated that a large percentage of Americans could not withstand an unexpected $400 charge expense. Things aren't great for millions of Americans, and we need to update how we take care of those in need. Reading from this article, Democrats formally began their push on Monday for the most significant expansion of the nation's social safety net since the Great Society of the 1960s, unveiling a budget blueprint that would spend $3.5 trillion on health care, child and elder care, education, and climate change. The budget resolution, which the Senate Democrats hope to pass by the end of this week, would allow the caucus to piece together social policy legislation this fall, paid for by raising taxes on the wealthy, large inheritances, and corporations. Should all 50 senators who caucus with Democrats hold together, the measure could pass the Senate without a Republican vote, nullifying the filibuster threat. Democrats plan to take up the measure as soon as the Senate approves a separate $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, which, by the way, is a far cry from the multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure proposal that Biden wanted. Why? One, because of the recalcitrant Joe Manchin, the aforementioned Joe Manchin, but also because Republicans, they're not in the business of getting things done. They're in the business of opposition. The $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, which is scheduled for a vote at 11 a.m. Tuesday. Together, the measures could secure virtually all of President Biden's $4 trillion economic agenda, rebuilding the nation's roads, bridges, rail lines, water systems, and electricity grid, while expanding public education, social welfare, and health care, and remaking the federal tax code. That is important. Democrats are hard at work bobbing and weaving and dodging the arrows of Republicans who aren't in the business of progress. And Democrats are trying to get something done for the American people, to update our country, to refresh the way we do things. Because if this is the biggest expansion of a social safety net in nearly 60 years, what are we doing? If we're allowing Republicans to completely control the narrative like we have for a generation on the minimum wage, what are we doing? If we want to claim we live in modernity, we need to start acting like it. We need to start leading like it. We need to start legislating like it. If the Congress can make all kinds of exceptions because of COVID to update their voting proxy rules, we certainly can do that surrounding this. And allowing Republicans to get in the way, especially where it relates to the filibuster, isn't leadership. If you ask me, it's cowardice.
One of our sponsors today is Nebbia, the creator of the world's most innovative shower head. It uses only about half the water that other shower heads do, saving you money, helping the environment, but it's actually a lot more powerful than other shower heads on the market. It has twice the coverage of other shower heads. The water sprays with a ton of pressure. I've been using it in my bathroom at home. I love it. Only took a few minutes to set up, really easy, and it's been a totally different experience than any other shower head I've used. I can get in and out of the shower way quicker now because of how powerful it is. It only takes a few seconds to get completely rinsed off. So I was actually amazed that it's only using about half as much water. Nebbia also offers a number of shower accessories like shelves and curtains, which match perfectly with the design of the shower head. The shower head starts at just $199, and you'll get 10% off all Nebbia products when you go to nebbia.com/Pacman and use the coupon code Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.